Welcome to the Transum podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transum.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
June has arrived, and so has podcast number 139, with another collection of ideas, updates, and mathematical curiosities from Transum. But first, let's begin with the puzzle of the month.
Madame Mushnik was getting ready for the 4-day Solvitude Festival in a land far, far away. The 4 best students were to be rewarded for their superb puzzle-solving skills. The total prize pot consisted of 16 coins. The first coin was worth 1 groan, the second was worth 2 groans, and so on. The coins were to be distributed according to the Solvitude rules. Each student receives 1 coin on each day of the festival. The total value in groans of the coins distributed each day is the same. The total value in groans of the coins received by each student over the 4 days is the same. Can you find a way that Madame Mushnik could distribute the coins so that all 3 rules are obeyed?
That's the Transum puzzle for this month. The challenge is set. Have a think, make a plan. You have 1 month to figure it out. Send in your solution as soon as you can.
If you find an answer, I would love to hear how you solved it. Just drop me an email to podcast@transum.org telling me how you solved it, and did you recognise the structure of the puzzle? Let me know if you did. Okay, while you think about that, here are some of the key resources added to the Transum website during this last month. Squareas, that's how you pronounce it, I've decided, is a brand new activity, and it's inspired by the classic Mrs. Perkins' quilt dissection problem. Well, I'd never heard of that either until I started investigating the possibilities for this puzzle. So it presents students with a rectangle tiled by squares, where the side lengths of a small number of squares are given and the rest must be deduced. The puzzles are designed to encourage logical thinking and systematic working rather than just calculation. So there are 23 puzzles arranged in approximate order of difficulty, with an option to reveal intermediate values once students have had a go, making it suitable for both independent work and classroom discussion. So have a look at that, Squareas. And the links of the things I'm talking about in this podcast can be found in the newsletter, transum.org/newsletter. There you go. Okay, another new activity is called Beam Balance, in which pupils arrange numbered treasure sacks on a beam so that both sides balance. It provides a fresh way to practice multiplication and addition, while also encouraging logical thinking, trial and improvement, and careful attention to position and value. As the challenges become more demanding, pupils have to think strategically about how far each sack is from the pivot and how that affects the total on each side. So basically, the effect of the weight of a sack you find by multiplying its weight by its distance from the pivot. So that turned into a puzzle for you to have a go at. So it's a bit of a numeracy thing as well. It's got a gentle pirate flavour, just because I started in that direction but then didn't quite see it through, but it's got that sort of colour scheme, and anyway, it might appeal to those who enjoy number challenges with a visual twist. Pan-digital puzzles is a new drag and drop activity in which students arrange the digits 1 to 9 into a 5-digit number and a 4-digit number, so that the first one is an exact multiple of the second one. So level 1 asks for a ratio of 2, level 3 asks for a ratio of 3 to 1, and so on up to level 8, where one number must be 9 times the other. So I didn't explain that very well, but hope you got that. It sounds straightforward enough, but the trial and error involved draws students into thinking carefully about divisibility, place value, and number sense without them actually realizing it. There are hint buttons on the earlier levels for those who need a gentle nudge, and the hints gradually disappear as you work through the levels. So that's called Pandigital Puzzles, and once I'd created that, I soon then created a variation of it called Pandigital Squares, and it works in a very similar way, but challenges you to create square numbers. So there's quite a few, well, there's 23, did I say, Pandigital type puzzles on the website now. I didn't realize it had grown to that number, but the links, again, for all these things are in the newsletter, transom.org/newsletter. Frustums in 6 levels is a new online exercise for pupils who are ready to go beyond the standard cone and pyramid formulae. It begins with the idea that a frustum is what's left when the top of a cone or pyramid is sliced off parallel to the base. Then builds through volume, surface area, and similar shape reasoning. Later levels include more realistic problems involving cups, planters, lampshades, and hoppers, giving pupils a chance to see why this slightly unusual shape is worth knowing about. Because basically, they're all around us. We don't realise it, and they're all frustums. And since I wrote it, I have found out that there are a number of different formulas that can be used, actually, and they're all listed on the page. Have a look, either in the help tab or in the comments. And yeah, it's quite interesting. The new unit circle visual gives teachers a dynamic way to show how sine, cosine and tangent changes as a point moves around a circle. So along with the trig tour activity that's been on the site for a long time, this new activity offers a different viewpoint, connecting ratios, coordinates, angles, radians, quadrants, and the circular patterns behind trigonometry. It gives teachers another option when choosing how best to represent trigonometric ideas to their students. So have a look at that. Unit circle. So, my use of AI, artificial intelligence, continues to grow, and I keep finding new things that are great time savers. The latest one is called Whisper Flow, and it lets you dictate rather than type, then helps with all the spelling, punctuation, and phrasing corrections. So far, I'm thinking it's quite wonderful, and I've hardly touched the keyboard all day. So there's a link to that in the newsletter if you're interested. Whisper Flow. Yeah, amazing. The Tables Master statistics show that 9 times 4 is the slowest times table fact to recall. Well, excluding the 12 times table, that is. Anyway, just over a week ago, an article in the Times newspaper reported on a much larger data set that showed that 9 times 6 was the table fact most likely to cause difficulty. So you can see the mean times it took students to recall all of the times table facts, and also the summary table from the Times on the statistics page. So the link is in the newsletter. So is that what you'd have thought? I mean, what in your experience is the hardest times table fact to recall? But yeah, it's either 9 times 4, which I get as the slowest, according to Tables Master, or 9 times 6, which is this huge survey that was reported in the Times. Okay, are you warm enough? It's been quite hot in the UK recently, and so particularly if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, the weather is definitely starting to become warm enough, well, unless you're in the extreme north, of course, but it's becoming warm enough to do outdoor maths. So I have a list of ideas and suggestions of what you can do outdoors on my outdoor maths page. The ideas range from those that can be done at short notice on the playground and those that will need a little more planning and are more adventurous. So have a look at that list, Outdoor Maths, link in the newsletter. My favourite starter this month, by the way, is True or False. So you can project it on your whiteboard for whole class discussion, or if you scroll down the page, there's a student version with 3 levels, and it provides another way to understand mathematical ideas as a sort of a change or a complement to traditional exercises. It's certainly one for promoting discussion, and I've used it so many times with pupils of different abilities, and yeah, really good. True or false, have a look at that. Finally, the last month's puzzle.
King Arthur is organizing a Knights Quiz Night for 5 of his most enthusiastic knights. He has set 11 chairs, labeled A to K, at his round table. Knight 1 sits in chair A, but the other knights are wondering where they should sit according to the king's rules. Direct the other 4 knights to the remaining chairs so that all of the following rules are obeyed. Knight 1 has other knights sitting 1 chair clockwise and 1 chair anti-clockwise away. Knight 2 has other knights sitting 2 chairs clockwise and 2 chairs anti-clockwise away, and so on. Where should the 5 knights sit?
Thanks so much to all who sent me an email with their solutions. If you look at the online version of the newsletter and look in the comments, there is a really wonderful method of that someone sent in for solving this problem. So I do thank Leonard for his visuals there, which really makes it clear how to solve it in a very logical way. So the answer, if that's what you're waiting for, is Knight 1 sits in seat A, Knight 2 sits in seat B, Knight 3 sits in seat D, Knight 4 sits in seat K, and Knight 5 sits in seat G. So that is one solution, but if you draw a vertical line down the table and reflect, you'd get another solution. So yeah, that's just one solution. And the extension that I proposed as well, the extension puzzle with 6 knights, we get Knight 1 sitting in seat A, 2 in B, 3 in D, 4 in M, 5 in I, and 6 in G.
Solved. The mystery ends. There's nothing too hard for Transom's great friends.
And based on this puzzle, I've developed the Knights of the Circular Table activity as an interactive investigation. So the original puzzle is still there, but pupils can now change the number of knights and the number of chairs, then investigate which arrangements have a solution and which do not. This turns the puzzle into a much richer classroom investigation with plenty of scope for making conjectures, testing examples, spotting patterns, and asking new questions along the way. So have a look at that, Knights of the Circular Table. So, that's all for now. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that I put invisible ink in the printer before printing out a maths question? I couldn't see what the problem was.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transom podcast. You can find the website at www.transom.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transom subscriber.